Hi all, this is Wizard1 Canada back with another cell phone unboxing. Today we will be looking at the UMIDIGI S2, not to be confused with the similarly named cell phone company Umi that I have reviewed in the past. This is the 4GB RAM, 64GB ROM full metal unibody variant and is currently on sale at GearBest for $189.99 US or about 245 Canadian. This represents a 25% off discount off their regular pricing, which I'm guessing is because the Pro version of this phone is going to be released at the beginning of December. UMIDIGI is a relatively new brand, having launched at the 2017 Berlin IFA back in the beginning of September. I was quite curious regarding this phone as the listed specs, which I'll address in the unboxing, seem to be either on par or even better than some of the offerings from more notable mainstream brands such as LG and Samsung. Okay, so let's just open this up and see what it comes with. So we have a really nice looking box here that slides out and opens up. Inside we have the charger. Let's pull this out. So we have the UMIDIGI branded Quick Charge 2.0 charger, rated at a variable 5, 7, and 9 volts at 1.67 amps, as well as 12 volts at 1.25 amps. Below the charger, we have the USB cable. So we have the USB cable, which is a Type-C cable, as well as a USB Type-C to 3.5mm audio jack adapter. So it appears that UMIDIGI is following the footsteps of other brands and ditching the audio jack and instead offering an adapter. Personally, I don't care too much about this, as nearly all my earphones and headphones that I own are Bluetooth anyways. Okay, so opening up the center here reveals the the phone itself, which has a screen protector already installed on it, as well as a OEM rubber case that it's encased in. Lastly, we have what I think is probably going to be this little envelope that has the SIM eject pin as well as a manual. So the manual is going to be in just various languages, but just a quick start manual here. Okay, so let's just move everything else aside and focus really on the accessories and the phone. So let me just power this on and continue talking about the phone. Okay, so as I mentioned at the beginning, it was mainly the specs that got me interested in the S2. So let's take a look at its components. First, we have a 6-inch sharp TDDI HD display running at 720 by 1440 resolution. Something might seem a little off regarding the resolution I just mentioned, and that may be because this display runs at 18 by 9 aspect ratio, which is similar to that of the Samsung S8, iPhone 8, and LG V30. Choosing to go with this display allows the UMIDIGI to fit a 6-inch display inside a thinner 5.5-inch full metal unibody. The display is housed behind a piece of curved 2.5D scratch-resistant Gorilla Glass 4. On the top, we have the ambient light sensor, the 5 megapixel front-facing camera, and a front-facing flash, which you rarely see on phones nowadays. Now taking off the case reveals the inlay antenna, the Sony IMX258 dual lens 13 megapixel 5 megapixel back-facing camera, a two-tone camera flash, and the fingerprint sensor. The dual lens IMX258 is the exact same camera sensor that can be found on the OnePlus X as well as the LG G6. So it should be able to take some decent photos, hopefully 4K video as well. On the sides we have the volume rocker and the power button. On the bottom we have the single speaker grill, the USB Type-C port, and the microphone port. On the side here we have the also familiar and annoying hybrid SIM card tray, which allows us to have either a single Nano SIM, a single Nano SIM with a micro SD card, or dual Nano SIMs. So there you go. Under the hood of the S2's computing power comes with the Mediatek Helio P20 processor, MT6757 processor that runs 8 ARM Cortex A53 cores at a maximum of 2.3 gigahertz each. As mentioned in the beginning, the S2 runs with 4 gigabytes of RAM and 64 gigabytes of onboard storage, which should be more than enough for your daily needs, so you can actually make use of the available dual SIM configuration SIM tray. The S2 supports the standard Canadian 2G and 3G HSPA carrier bands, as well as the Band 7 LTE running at 2600. As with all the other Chinese phones I've reviewed in the past, please make sure you click on the link found in the description below to ensure that your local cell phone towers support Band 7 LTE, as deployment is not uniform throughout Canada and you definitely don't want to be stuck at 3G data speeds. Furthermore, the S2 supports standard 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi B, G, and N, as well as 5 GHz AC Wi-Fi frequencies. Lastly, the entire package is powered by a beefy 5100 mAh battery, which they say allows it to be the world's first 6-inch display phone with up to 2 days of battery life. It's definitely nothing to sneeze about, and I'll reserve judgment until I put this phone through its paces, and I'll report back in my full review. One more thing I want to mention regarding the S2 is the power system of the S2. I don't know if UMIDIGI did this intentionally or sort of wanted to trick the public, but throughout their marketing material, they mentioned that the phone supports Quick Charge 2.0, which allows it to achieve 1 day of battery life from 30 minutes of charging, 65% battery life from 90 minutes of charging, and full charge at 150 minutes. Now, when I see Quick Charge 2.0, I instantly think about Qualcomm's Quick Charge technology. However, the problem with this is that it's exclusive to Qualcomm's mobile CPU chipsets. The specific Mediatek chipset found on the S2 utilizes MediaTek's own quick charging technology, also known as Pump Express Plus 2.0. So I think it's a tad sneaky for UMIDIGI to refer to MediaTek's quick charge technology as Quick Charge 2.0 instead of something along the lines of perhaps quick charging through Pump Express 2.0. Okay, so enough about that. Let me just set up the S2 and we'll quickly look at the onboard software and perform an initial benchmark. Okay, so I set up the S2 now, so let's take a look at it. So it's really snappy in terms of changing over from pages. So let's look at the onboard, but there's an update for it. So one thing I just noticed now is that the phone actually has Android 6.0.1 on it. I for some reason I remember it's saying online that it is running Android 7. So I don't know. The update that shows up right now isn't big enough to be a complete update for 7.0. So I'm going to do this update later. Well, I'll download now. I'll update it later, and maybe right after this update there will be a another OS update, but we'll look at that later on. Sorry. Okay. So yeah, so you can see that we have the S2, Octa-Core Helio P20, 2.3 gigahertz, a 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigabytes of onboard storage. Let's see how much actual space is on here. Storage. Okay, so the OS by itself and whatever else is on this, it takes up 11.59 gigabytes out of the 64 gigabytes available. We do have Play Store pre-installed on it, as well as various other apps from Google pre-installed onto it, so you don't have to worry too much of it not having it and you having to root it and install it yourself. Okay, so let's quickly just look at the benchmarks now. Okay, so we benchmarked it and it came up with 61,754. So if you're comparing it to, I guess, a Qualcomm chipset, my Xiaomi Mi Max 2, which runs a Snapdragon 625, I believe benchmarked at about 63,000. So the Mediatek Helio P20 Octa-Core at 2.3 gigahertz basically benchmarks around the same as the 625. Okay, so this has been Wizard 1 just doing the initial unboxing of the UMIDIGI S2 smartphone. So keep watching. I'll be back with a full review in about a week or so. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and found it helpful, please definitely give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It helps out with me to buy other phones for review. Thanks for watching and have a great night.